Hello, beautiful and powerful women. Welcome to Susan Unleashed. This podcast is for any woman who wants to live a gorgeous life on her terms and who knows that not only is being a woman enough, it is the key to everything. I'm your host, Susan Elizabeth, certified professional coach, #1 best-selling author, and Energy Leadership Index master practitioner. I fiercely support women who are passionate about elevating their lives while embracing their truest selves. Are you ready to unleash your power? Hello and welcome back, beautiful and powerful women. This is a good one today. In this episode, I'm going to be talking about how to become a high value woman. Now, there's going to be a lot of really juicy, great information in here. So get your pen and paper out, listen up, listen to this again over and over. There's some really good stuff here. So first and foremost, how to become a high value woman. First and foremost, you must know your worth and your value. You must know this right out of the gate. And then it radiate that out. You must know this. And when you do, a high value woman, she radiates this. She's sought after. She magnetizes people into her life. She magnetizes situations into her life. She magnetizes opportunities into her life and abundance in her life. This is a high value woman. And she knows her inherent value, her innate worth, her own value. She never has to run out there to forget her value and try to prove her worth. That doesn't happen. A high value woman knows her innate value and her innate worth. She knows this. And it's you. You determine your value and your worth. You determine it. Nobody else determines it. Nobody. And it's not something out there or someone out there who determines your worth and your value. Not at all. My worth, I have also learned, my worth doesn't come from a paycheck. My worth doesn't come from anything outside of me. My worth and my value comes from within inside. It's an inside job. And I don't need to convince anybody of it. I don't need to prove it to anybody. It is an inside job. And it involves accepting yourself completely. Accepting yourself right now, right here, right as you are. Even if you're 5 or 10 pounds heavier, who cares? Accept yourself right now and then go live your life as a value. And of course you can have goals and visions and dreams to go towards to make yourself even better. That's not what I'm talking about. Right now, decide, accept yourself. So I want to share with you my story about how I used to always be running away from myself to everything that was outside of me and out there because I had forgotten my worth and I had forgotten my value. And I was always trying to prove myself and prove my worth. And I was always giving my power away. And I'd feel disempowered and then I'd wonder why. And I was always trading my worth for something. And a high value woman knows that she is enough. She's worthy enough. She's valuable enough. There is enough. And she's worth everything. She's high value. People are attracted to this. Have you ever noticed that? When somebody is around you or you're in the presence of somebody who really just knows themselves, they're radiating that out, and you kind of want what they have. Like, have you ever wanted, like, I'll have what she's having? It is so true. Like, people are drawn to that. I remember sitting in the presence of others thinking, okay, I want what she's got. And it causes me to be inspired to look within myself of how do I improve? How do I go after some of those things that I felt maybe in me needed some tuning? Like if I was an 8 and I wanted to be a 10, how was I going to get from 8 to 10? And if you don't value you, how can somebody else value you? So it starts with you. And that's what I want to bring home as my first point. #1, know your value. High value women value themselves. If you want to learn how to live a ripe, wild, and fierce life, make sure that you check out my new course. When you're finished with the podcast, the link is in the show notes, so head on over to the link and check it out there. So, number 2, act on it. Own it, know it, and then take action. Take inspired action. It's a way of being and a way of showing up. Truly, it really, really is. And how you can do this is you can really presence yourself. And when I say presence yourself, what does that mean? Presence yourself means being present in the moment and showing up fully as your whole, authentic, true self. Standing in your own innate power and your own confidence. It's having that presence. Now that can be externally, dressing well, dressing the part, dressing appropriate, whatever situation you're in, whether it's work or going out, wherever that is and whatever that looks like for you. And being the expert at what you do and standing up and stepping forward and stepping in to add your value into a situation, your influence into a situation, your worth into a situation. And using your voice, speaking up, being heard. And if they don't hear you, say it again. Or pause and wait for them to quit talking over each other and then come in and say it again and then just letting it go and detaching from the outcome. Because sometimes being a high value woman is knowing when to walk away from a situation and just let it go because it's not serving you. And it's being balanced. It's being influential. It's asserting yourself without over-inserting yourself. It's asserting yourself without over-inserting yourself. I wanted to be really clear about that. And it's not sitting back or allowing unless it's by design and by intention. So again, I'm so intentional with my time. When I design in my downtime for balance in my life, I'm very intentional. Like, read a book, Susan. Relax, meditate, journal, whatever that is, go for the walk. I'm very intentional. Be intentional. And I think communication comes into play here too. I'm kind of bouncing around a little bit, but communication is also another important one. I think being very clear and being very intentional in your communication is important. Living a life as a high value woman, because high value women, they've thought about things. They're clear on what they stand for, what value that holds to them, what they make it mean, their feelings about it, and they insert themselves. And they're clear. They get to the point, they make clear communication, they don't take a long time to say it, they don't fumble around. They explain and they get in there. And so I think it's really about being prepared and being confident in who you are and using your voice, being open, being adaptable, being engaged and positive. And most important, having that strong sense of self-worth. That is so important. Okay, number 3. My third tip is high value women have high standards. Like, no kidding, high standards. And I love this. High standards is one of my values too, because I don't settle for things. I don't tolerate. There's a certain tolerance we all have in life. We're in this life on planet Earth, but it's expecting the best and not settling. And it's a quality in your lives. It's living in quality and living in choice. And in all areas, it's quality communication. It's quality relationships. Quality value, quality in being choosy. Like, you can be choosy. Like, be choosy. I'm giving you a permission slip to go be choosy with your life. Be choosy about who you're around. If that doesn't serve you and it's not providing value into your life, walk away, leave. Go find other people to surround yourself that value you, being a high value woman. And I know for me, in my life and my relationships, I settled for so many relationships. And as I was exploring myself, defining myself, they were all stepping stones, but I was really settling. And then I finally determined that I am no longer going to settle. I'm going to expect nothing less than the highest quality. And I spent years really defining that for myself. And I command and demand respect in my personal life as well as my professional life. And if I don't get it, I leave. And I don't tolerate. It's just not a thing anymore. And like, I want to add so much value out into the world to all of you, to whatever I'm doing. I want to add so much and bring so much value. And it's okay to walk away. It's okay to make change in your life. Change can be hard and it can really be scary. But I'm telling you, detach from the outcome, walk away from a situation, hold yourself in value, because when you hold yourself in high value, you attract who you are. You will attract situations and people and places and things into your life that resonate at the level you are at. Let me say that again. You will attract into your life people and places and things into your life that will resonate where you at if you treat yourself as a high value woman. Yeah, feels good. So the next one is have boundaries, like really have boundaries, being fierce to say no to things, to walk away from things. Really being clear on how you live your life and manage your time and who you're around. Saying yes to things that really draw your passion and you desire, and saying no to things that do not serve you. How do you manage your calendar? And putting yourself first, always putting yourself first. And really watching out for feelings of needing to be accepted or liked. Like, who cares about that? Like, none of my business. Put yourself first. Absolutely. You have your own back. The universe has your back. Don't worry about the other stuff. No blame. Take full responsibility. You own your life. So it's time to really own your value as a high value woman. Ooh, this is good. Okay, high value women, they have innate power and confidence. So confidence and innate power, I love this one. So I did a previous podcast on this. So if you haven't listened to that, highly recommend go back and listen to the innate power and confidence. And innate power and confidence, confidence is an emotion. Innate power is an inside job. There is a wellspring inside of us that we can tap into in our lives that is our own innate power, and that is connected to our source of ourself, our source to something greater than us. And when you have this innate power and this confidence, you are passionate, you have desires, and you show up for those in your life. And you have these personal interests. Like a high value woman, she has passion, she has desires, she has personal interests, and she shows up for those. And she has hobbies and joys, and she creates pleasure in her life, and she lives in that. She's unapologetic about her own self, and she stands in her own innate power. Okay, number 6, everybody. High value women. High value women, they have an abundance mindset. They know that they are enough, there is enough, and there will always be enough. Really, there is enough love. There is enough time. There is enough to go around. And that she is enough. She will always be enough, and she always was enough. Like, completely abundance. Abundance is everywhere. Go tap into the abundance. Don't come from lack. Lack will rip you off at the joy of life. It's a scarcity mindset, not allowed. High value women don't have a scarcity mindset. Okay, number 7. She loves herself and she respects herself. When she loves herself, coupled with being compassionate towards herself, she can be in other companies, in others' presence, in others' company, and having quality there, in quality relationships, quality passion, quality. She attracts in that love because she loves herself and she respects herself, and she will attract in respectful situations, respectful people. She has empathy. She doesn't need to tolerate things. She has compassion and empathy. But she doesn't go out and tolerate and compromise, I guess you could say. If you want to learn how to live a ripe, wild, and fierce lifestyle, make sure to check out my new course. It's in the show notes. So when you are finished with the podcast, head on over to the show notes and click on the link. Yeah, she will attract in a high value man into her life too. And I could say that about me. That is how when I learned to fall in love with myself, when I learned to slow down and quit running away from myself and really fall in love with myself, that's when I attracted into my life so much more. And that so much more was including my husband. And we've been together now for many years and we are still going strong. But I had to get really clear of that, and I had to stop tolerating, and I had to up my level. I had to elevate myself. Okay, number 8. High value women, they take exquisite self-care of themselves. So it's not just they invest in themselves. It's not just the manis, the pedis, the facials, the massages, getting the hair done. She nourishes her body with nourishing foods, whole foods, foods that make her feel good, not a sugar high, not a white flour high. It's nourishing herself. She nourishes her mind through artwork and conversations and culture and reading and exploring and showing up for her life. She nourishes her spirituality by having a spiritual practice of whatever that looks like for her. She meditates, and she nourishes her body through movement and exercise and dance and being present in the moment. And she nourishes herself mentally. When she feels like she has too much stress, she can unplug and she can stand back and she can design in that time in her life to slow down. And she lives from that space. She wants to better herself, and she wants to live in harmony and balance. This is a woman who takes exquisite self-care of herself. This is a high-value woman. And then she radiates this out. When you invest in yourself from that place, you will get a return on your investment 100-fold, 1,000-fold. Make no mistake. Don't you feel good when you put on a beautiful, beautiful outfit, or when you have your hair done and your nails done? But think of that in all aspects of your life, 360 degrees all the way around, when you're doing that for your mind and your emotions and your body, everything, your spirituality. Just think of that. What you'll be magnetizing into your life as a high-value woman. So I just want to say that she also loves her body and accepts it, but also wants to better herself and better that in her life as well. Okay, number 9. High-value women are a first-class act. They are a full-on class act as a woman. She learns, she's open, she's open, she's vulnerable. Vulnerability is not a weakness, and she knows it. She's done the work. She's done the personal development. She knows vulnerability is not a weakness. It's a way to connect to people. It's a way to let people come into her life and her heart. And she comes from that space, and she embraces all who she is. She knows how to walk into any situation with her femininity, her innate strength as a woman, and her own beauty and her own power, and bring that into any situation. She has grace for herself, and she has grace for others as well. And because she's empowered, she empowers others. She inspires others. Just think of it. The women that you admire, whoever those people are, they have manners, they have charm, they have grace, they have poise, they have glamour. In whatever way that you define it, they have their own unique way of being, and they really make full of their potential and who they are, and they show up that way. And they do it without apology. So she's unafraid to fail. She's fallen down. She's got bruises. She's got battle scars, but she embraces them. She doesn't hide from them. She is authentic in who she is, and she lives life on her terms. So I think the last thing I want to say about this before I ask some questions to you is she lives by her guiding principles, and she's clear. She's done the work. What are her principles and what are her values? And I know for me, when I first got into coaching in the end of 2004, I didn't even know what my values were, and I had the whole value definition. And I tell you, I live by my values and in my values all the time. It's a part of who I am in my life. And I have my principles, and I'm clear on what those are. And I think as a coach, that's something that I love to help women with when I work with them one-on-one, to help them discover and define their values and their principles, and then hang those up, have those with you. I used to carry those around with me. They're still on my phone. I've got them memorized because I live them so much. But living in your values and by your guiding principles is a life changer. Life changer. And it's such a rich experience to go through the discovery of your values and then to live in those. It is a powerful, powerful place to live and to come from. So I want to just close by asking you a couple of questions as you think about living as a high value woman that you are. But really, how do you turn up the volume on that one? So number one, how are you showing up as a high value woman? And then where might you have some further opportunities to show up more as a high value woman? Because we all have parts of our lives where we aren't fully showing up as a high value woman. What are we tolerating? What are we sacrificing? And then where might you identify where you need some personal development and attention around any of these areas to elevate yourself and your life? So good. So good. I'm so passionate about this topic because I just see such opportunity out there for all of us to support each other as women and to really, really claim it and stand in our own lives and really have that audacity to be who we are and to show up for our lives, but show up as a high value woman who offers and inspires and empowers, but lives empowered, lives authentically, lives powerfully as our own true selves. All right, that's it for this week, everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you for tuning in. And I can't wait to talk with you in the next episode. Have a great week. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this episode, I would love it if you would leave me a review or share it with someone else who may enjoy it too. To stay connected with me, please head on over to SusanElizabethCoaching.com and make sure that you sign up for my tips on how to live an unleashed life full of passion and purpose. Until next time, go live an unleashed life.